The Veyra Cycle, Chapter 4, Decree. Daren gently lowered his arm as the gem's internal glow diminished and disappeared. His thoughts circled a possibility he had tried not to name, something that lingered just beyond certainty and refused to settle into anything he could accept. The door to Aaron's room opened without warning, and Samira stepped into the room. Her gaze found Daren at once, reading the tension in his posture before a word was spoken.
What's wrong?
I think the band is not working properly.
He turned the arcane band slightly and pressed his palm over the gem, and in response, the artifact stirred, its light returning in a muted pulse as it recalled the last reading, bringing it forward once more without the need for another command.
I needed to be certain. The previous readings didn't make sense, so I tried again, but instead of confirming them, it changed.
He angled his wrist so she could see. Samira moved closer and, after a pause, stated that it indicated a malfunction.
It could not be working correctly. But Aaron hasn't manifested a Veyra. He shouldn't be able to produce any elemental pattern.
She leaned in a little, examining the changing light inside the gem, noting how the colors refused to settle into any recognizable pattern, her brow knitting in confusion as she couldn't remember or recognize anything.
It doesn't make sense. I've never seen a pattern like that before.
Her gaze lingered, trying to fit what she saw into the structure she trusted.
Maybe it's not indicating a specific element.
Daren said nothing.
It could mean he doesn't belong to any attunement. That would be consistent. Without a Veyra, there's nothing for the band to align with, nothing to define.
The words settled in the room. Samira offered an answer that should have been enough, but Daren did not look away from the gem. He was not convinced. What he had seen refused to fit within that explanation, and the more he tried to accept it, the more it resisted, leaving him with a quiet certainty that something was wrong. A knock echoed from the front door, cutting through the stillness and drawing him back from his thoughts. Daren straightened and moved toward the door without another word, leaving the dim glow of the room behind as he crossed the threshold into the hall. His hand found the knob, and for a brief moment, he hesitated, as though some part of him sensed the shift before it arrived. Then he opened it. The scene across froze him in place. A line of soldiers gathered at his door. Their armor subtly reflected light, and at the forefront was the kingdom's seal, a rich blue shield edged in gold, featuring a crowned V flanked by winged lions, topped with a radiant star and a sword below it, the clear emblem of Valenor. For a moment, Daren said nothing. The presence of the Vyrexan army at his door indicated that the crown still needed his help, despite his retirement from the military. He drew in a breath, bowing slightly.
I am at the service of the king.
One of the soldiers reached up and removed his helmet, revealing a familiar face beneath the weight of steel. He stepped forward, a faint smile touching his expression.
Daren, it's been a while.
Daren recognized him quickly, though his response carried a hint of disbelief.
William, why are you wearing that? I thought you stepped away after the last cycle.
Ah, Daren, things don't stay simple for long. Life under the crown has a way of pulling you back in, whether you plan for it or not.
William's eyes moved briefly past Daren, taking in the home, its stillness, the life that had been built away from everything they once knew.
Ain't that why you left? Traded it all for a quieter place like this?
Daren held his gaze for a moment before answering.
I've built a good life here. I don't have much to complain about.
But even as the words left him, the presence at his door made it clear that life was no longer as distant from the crown as he had believed.
I'm glad to hear that, though I wish I had come under better circumstances.
William shifted slightly as he reached for a folded parchment at his side.
The Crown has amended the recruitment process for the coming unbinding cycle. As you may know, losses during the last cycle were significant. Because of that, a new decree has been issued.
William unfolded the parchment and extended it toward Daren.
Every male child over the age of 7 is now required to be registered for service. Girls remain optional. The decision of enlisting them is left to the parents.
Daren accepted the parchment without speaking, his gaze dropping to the written decree as his eyes moved steadily across the lines. Registration begins at 7 years old. Assessment of monoparticles is due in the 8th year. Daren knew the process was brutal, especially for a child of his son's age. He had not forgotten when he had to endure it. The structure of it, the pressure, the way it stripped children down of their sanity and measured what remained. He couldn't bear the thought of what awaited his son there. Without a Veyra, the system would not simply overlook him. It would define him by that absence, mark him, isolate him, and leave him exposed to those who had already learned how to thrive within it. The children of the founding families, raised in certainty and advantage, would not see him as different. They would see him as weak. And weakness, in a place like that, was something that did not go untested. Daren's grip tightened slightly on the parchment before he forced himself to release it, folding it back along its original lines and returning it to William.
Thank you for informing me. I'll make the necessary arrangements to comply with the Crown's decree.
There's something else. Another matter I was asked to follow up on. The General sent his regards.
Next, on the Veyra cycle. Aaron awakes from a nightmare, and William delivers a concern from General Henry Dravik, Daren's older brother.